Greetings, adventurers, and well-met Master of Dungeons here on the Master of Dungeons Twitch channel, twitch.tv/themasterofdungeons. It is the second Tuesday in January, which means it's time for some more Vecna Eve of Ruin. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you for the resub with the Prime. Very much appreciated. How was everyone's weekend? How have we been in the last couple of weeks since we last played?
Good,
No complaints, it sounds like?
Nice.
Well, that's with the world.
Yeah, there's that weird thing that happened since last time, but
Yeah.
Everything's burning, but it's not ashes yet.
Right?
We're working on it, it'll be... Give it a few months.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. Yeah, well, welcome in,
My
everyone.
wife's car wouldn't start. I mean, it was
goodness.
a whole thing. Oh, wait. That seems pretty trivial now. No, I'm just joking.
Welcome in, Kat. Welcome in. So we are back here for episode 16 of Vecna Eve of Ruin. Our characters, before we go through and talk about what they're doing, where they've been, what happened last session, let's go ahead and remind everyone of who everyone is playing. First of all, everyone make sure to start with Heroic Inspiration if you don't have it still from last session. We do have our paladin back as well, but let's go ahead and remind everyone who you're playing. Everyone should be up to 13th level, which we'll deal with here in a little bit as well. But make sure to let them know your species, your class, any quirks about your character, and a little bit about your past. So let's go ahead and begin with Agnoth. Agnoth, go ahead.
All right, Agnoth is a gnoll, custom lineage sort of approximation of a gnoll anyway, from the setting of Exandria. He is an artificer specializing in armorer, so he has a sort of walking mech suit thing going around. After he, went sort of studying stuff in Risona, he eventually joined up with the 10 Eels and got into various adventures, and one of them led them to Faerun for some reason, where they started getting on the trail of Vecna, who was up to no good in the shape of probably destroying the universe, we think. So yeah, it's been fun times.
All right, thank you very much, Agnoth. And then we have Blink.
Blink is from the setting of wherever Captain says he is, and he's a human Echo Knight who lives to serve and serves to live, and the target of his devotion is Captain Renly. There will always be him and his Echo on either side of them, no matter how much Captain or anyone else protests, and he is the best protector of the group. Repeat, the best.
All right, thank you, Blake. And then we have the aforementioned Captain Renly.
Hey, everybody. My name's Greg. I play Captain Renly. We're both he, him. I'm the Pact of the Tome, Asimar Fathomless Warlock. And having this many protectors has made me very, very spoiled and a little bit cheeky. So I do my best to go pew, pew, pew and blast away and talk to people when I can.
I forgot to turn on Renly's camera. There we go.
It's okay. Your Twitch will benefit.
Still had it from the when we were off cam last time. All right, thank you very much, Renly. And then we have Das.
Hello again, everyone. I am Talos, the Stormlord, and I'll be playing Das the Blessed, or Das the Best, who is the best, part of his name, so that means it's true. Returning after a week away, or our last session away, Das is a nearly 7 foot tall minotaur with over 7 foot with his gigantic horns. He is dressed in gleaming armor and with a number of constellation symbols on it. That is because he hails from the campaign setting of Dragonlance, or the other Kryn.
The real Kryn?
Yeah, right. The one and only Kryn. The Kryn the Kryn with many decades of history behind it. But he was adventuring with his colleagues, a different set of colleagues, over in another world when he kind of got blipped over here to hang out with this equally impressive group of people. He is the as you can kind of gather, the sort of a slight oddball out in the group, but in the meantime, he is also a 13th level Oath of Conquest Paladin.
All right, thank you very much, Das. And then we have Davana.
Sarah, I'm playing Divana. She's a Twilight cleric whose main purpose in life is taking care of this crew. She is an unknown / custom lineage. If you ask her where she's from over the mountain, and she will point to the mountain that is the farthest away. And if you happen to get her drunk and ask her that, she will emphatically tell you she's from over the mountain and that no one, absolutely no one, is chasing her. And that is all she will say on the subject. She is ashen skin, dark hair, covered with golden tattoos. And when you look at her face, she might be a drow variant, but she also has a tail. So who knows where that came from? But again, she's happy to be in with this motley crew and taking care of them.
All right, thank you, Davana. And then we have Minerva.
Hello, I'm Dana and I'm playing Minerva, who looks like a Victorian shopkeeper, and she's also originally from the Call of the Netherdeep campaign and has been traveling around with the 10 eels and happily, excitingly looking for any kind of weird, strange artifacts to collect and put into her shop of curiosities. And so, yeah, her main motivation is to find strange objects and, kind of help this crew along as well as much as she can. She likes to bring a little bit of the creepy, and she is a 13th level aberrant mind sorcerer, also custom lineage, but mostly looking a little humanoid, though her skin is a little lavender tinged. And yeah, and she has like an invisible tentacle companion that everyone kind of knows about.
All right, thank you very much, Minerva. And that is our crew. They have been on some interesting challenges so far. They discovered they actually met some, well, depending on what the multiverse and what time actually is, some time ago, as a group checking out a small cult in Neverwinter. Then they woke up and found themselves back in their own bodies, and then in their respective campaigns. And once they achieved 10th level, at that exact moment, they were blessed back over into the Forgotten Realms, just off the coast of Neverwinter. Spending a little bit of time in Neverwinter, they investigated some more cults and discovered it was very similar cults to cults of Vecna. And through an errant wish spell, they were whisked away to a sigil, whatever you want to call it, in the Outer Plains, and discovered that Vecna, the Archlich, the god of death and such like that, god of liches, has a nefarious plan to try to use secrets to unravel the multiverse and rebuild it in his image. They met up with the Wizards 3, Illustrial, Mordenkainen, and Tasha, who had cast the Errant Wish spell, which ported them there. Of course, the characters, rightly so, believed that the wish worked properly, right? And brought your group to aid them. And in order to try to thwart Vecna's plans, the characters are kind of hopping across the plains to try to find an artifact known as the pieces of an artifact known as the Rod of Seven Parts. They went into an ancient old Temple of Loth in the Underdark of Faerun to find part one, the first part of the rod. They found the second part in the Astral Sea, actually in the corpse, the still somewhat beating heart of a dead god named Havoc, and achieved, or I should say, were able to capture the second part of the Rod of Seven Parts. And after receiving that, which I believe Agnoth is holding the second part and Davana is holding the first part, correct? And
Right.
they find themselves back in the sanctum of the Wizards 3 in the sigil. And you have the part in tow. You do have the knowledge that mechanically you have become 13th level. So we'll go ahead and you can go through and say you've had your long rest. Here, of course, here's the portal where you came in. You can come back down here to the first floor, coming down from the spare rooms and such like that. And why don't we go ahead and go around the table and tell us something cool you might have gotten for your for level 13. Agnoth, if you want to start, feel free.
Well, a 4th level spell slot, which is kind of like the
Right.
level up version of getting socks for Christmas, but it beats coal.
For an officer, yeah, right.
Yeah, there's not very much other than that, just 4th level spell slot.
All right, fair enough. What about you, Blake?
I'm really old because I kind of like getting socks as presents, honestly. I'm a fighter, so I didn't really get much, but what I got to do, sir, is I got to design my pub. It's coming real soon, sir. I'm gonna have it there, and we're gonna have a place to stay, and we're gonna have a place to call home, and we're gonna have a place to rest whenever we want it, sir. They're working on it as we speak.
I look at the picture that Blink has, and I'm like, oh, look at that. That's me, and that's me. Oh, well, we're dealing with all these evil cultists and all these different groups. What? Keep an eye out. If anyone from OSHA stops by, I'm not here.
Fair enough. Well, really, what did you pick up anything special at 13th?
Got me summoning more at their Mystic Arcanum, so I get a level 7 Mystic Arcanum, which I took Force Cage, and then I get another new spell. I chose to take Hold Monster, because I just love hugging monsters.
Fair enough.
Then proficiency bonus went up, so unfortunately, I got better at persuading people.
What about you, Doss? Anything in particular you got at 13th level?
Well, let's see. Doss was actually back here in the sanctum, I guess, when the group arrived, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah. Doss also got a 4th level spell slot, which in and of itself is not too exciting, but it is very exciting in the spell that he got, because using 2014 rules, still, he got Find Greater Steed. So as the rest of them arrive back into the sanctum, they will find not only Doss awake and chipper and probably shoving his face with food at the tables over here, but also feeding an enormous dragon steed next to him, which somehow manages to fit inside this room.
It actually was up near the lounge and was able to fly into the sanctum upon summoning it, and you should see it at the top of your screen.
Hello.
Someone's made a new friend.
Yeah, it's actually, in fact, an old friend, you will point out. This is what I happily refer to as Doss Dragon, or his name is, let's see, Basro Darrigan. And he is my close companion and will be joining us on all of our escapades. And Doss will shovel food into this enormous dragon. It's actually officially a dragonelle, but he'll never say that. He just calls it a dragon. This enormous bronze dragon.
Devana, you noticed something before we move on to you and Minerva to find out what you found at 13th level. You noticed something glinting on the reins near the pommel of the saddle, the exotic saddle that he has on the back of the dragonelle.
Is that there's half of our matching ring set?
As you get closer, indeed, you notice it's a very old, tarnished platinum ring.
I have a matched platinum ring for the warding bond that I was very much hoping belonged to the Dream Doss. So that completes our set of matching warding bond rings. Savannah's very excited. Although Blink's the only one that she ever casts warding bond on, but she likes to have options.
Doss will take the ring and say, now you can cast it on me too.
Excellent.
Or the dragon. Doss Dragon loves warding bonds too.
Good Doss Dragon, and I will pet Doss Dragon.
And then, so Devana, what was something special you picked up for 13th level?
Well, I picked up a lot of great things. I picked up a 7th level spell slot. And with a long rest, I can do great things like resurrection, regenerate, cool things like that. I also remembered that I have Heroes Feast. Yay! So
Let's feast.
that was actually the thing I was most excited about, even though it was new. It was not new. It was new to me.
Blink looks over at Doss and whispers to Devon, would you like to test that one?
Resurrection. Yes, I would love to test it.
Uh-oh.
Sir?
Lana, we have to think about our words when we talk to Blink. No
It-
relate.
it's expensive, Blink. We should probably save the money.
Just seems
Das. Come on, we meet you, you hate dragons, now you have a dragon mob. Pick a lane, man.
He has a point, you know.
yeah. Can't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, Minerva, what's something special you got for 13th level?
Well, I also picked up a 7th level spell slot, and she wants to turn things upside down, so she got reverse gravity to
Ooh.
give it a shot. And yeah, there's been a particular song in my head a lot, so it just kind of seemed right.
What goes up must come down.
Well, though, I was thinking more of like the overly popular movie of the Broadway show that came out.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Fair
I'm gonna
enough.
defy it.
Defy it? Gotcha. Gotcha. All
You know,
right.
the more you try not to put that in our heads, the more you actually put it in our heads.
Yeah, so you do have the second piece of the Rod of Seven Parts, and Agnoth, what came to your mind as you stepped through the portal back into the sanctum, having rested, it was something weighing on your mind a bit because it's a land you've never heard of before, but you're sure the words that came to your mind, the realm that came to your mind, was the continent of Corvair on a world known as Eberron. Is where the rod is telling you the third piece is located.
Well, time to do some research.
As you come down this morning, having finished your long rest, introductions to Das Dragon and reuniting with your companion and such, you do see Milena over in the little laboratory area with the Wizards 3 as they all greet you. And Lustriel does kind of step over into the relaxing area of the sanctum here, the kind of the study, and she's like, "Greetings, friends. Greetings, friends. We know that you have found the second part. How was the quest to do so? Seems like everyone is in one piece."
Yes, just by the skin of, our teeth? Address teeth? It was this big, unsightly worm thing, and unfortunately we had to get beyond up close and personal. Are there baths to be had?
Oh yes, you've already had. This is after your long rest. You're all cleaned up, all of that. You've had your morning meal and all that. Having had your long rest as well as
I'm
advancement to 13th level.
I'm gonna stick to it. I feel like I need a second one. I don't Finn's mouth.
Yes, we can have some unseen servants pull you another bath if need be. Yes.
Ah.
And she snaps her fingers, and then something starts to move past you with a bit of wind. You know, it's unseen. And you feel it heading up the stairs up to the rooms where you're staying in the sanctum. Any information about the third part? Have you discovered where it might be located?
Yes, but I don't know what it is. Have you heard of a Corvair in a land called Eberron?
Yes.
Or maybe it's a world, and Corvair is the land. I'm not quite sure.
Yes. I've heard of this before. Tasha, I think you might have, perhaps you or Morton Kanan might have a bit more knowledge, as my specialty, of course, is Faerun. And Tasha does step forward and says, yes, I can say that this area you speak of, could only think that this area of the continent you're looking for is a place known as the Mournland.
That
Uh,
sounds ominous.
yes, it is a ruined wasteland before what is known in their world as the Last War, which was a global conflict that waged across the continent of Corvair for over a century. The Mornland was known as the Nation of Seer,
Sounds like a calamity.
Siri, something of that nature. An apocalyptic event called the Day of Mourning destroyed this nation and transformed the region. Remnants of the last war's battlefield, fire-spewing war machines known as colossi, lie strewn about the Mornland, and Warforged wanted the land.
Warforged.
Yes, touchy subject for some of us here, and you can see Illustrial kind of purse her lips a bit. And she says, Warforged or Tasha continues and says, Warforged are common on Corvair. These constructs were formed from wood and steel, then magically imbued with life and sentience. They were originally created to fight in the last war, though many survived that conflict, now try to understand their place in the world.
Interesting.
And Morton Cannon kind of speaks up and says, I would note that in the Mornland, magic does not always function as intended. Particularly from what I recall, teleportation and divination magics. I would be wary.
Those were also somewhat unpredictable where we just were as well. Seems like a theme. Do we expect this for all the rest of the rod parts as well?
I'm unsure. We're not exactly sure where they're located. That's
True, we need to find them
Yes.
to know where they are, yes.
I would say, though, I would think, Mordekainen says, and he kind of glances over to Tasha and Illustrial to see if they have anything to add before he speaks up. As they all come into the room with you as well as Elena, and take seats on the couches nearby. I would think, Mordekainen continues after looking about, that this rod piece might be particularly challenging to find, since the Mordlands are difficult with the magics and such to navigate.
Well, yeah, you couldn't use locate object or anything like that. That's for sure.
Yes, with divination magics.
Agnos, doesn't the stick you have just kind of point at it the whole time?
Would that work in the Mournlands, or would that be affected too?
It might be. I mean, it is part of a powerful artifact, but it is not an artifact in and of itself. Though it does long to be rejoined with the other pieces. Might be a bit difficult with affecting movement and divination as well.
Is it possible to divine into the Mournland from outside of it, or do we just have to kind of improvise?
I suspect you have to improvise, Illustrial says. I believe I have one moment. And she walks over behind you, Agnoth, over into the library. You see her kind of perusing some books here and there, different world histories and stuff. And she pulls a tome off and brings it over and sets down beside you on the thing there and pulls the book out of the couch. And she pulls out a map and she says, this particular area of the Mournland, a place known as Mount Ironrot. The Mournland stretches out before this area, and again, there will be dozens of these ruined colossi scattered across Mount Ironrot and such like that. I suspect that one of the rod pieces was most likely hidden in one of these. However, it would take you a bit of time to search these colossi, each colossus individually.
How large are they?
Extremely. Some of them enough as probably as tall as 3 doses, perhaps maybe 10.
Oh, I was thinking they might be like the size of cities, but that's a little more manageable.
Yes, large constructs, war machines, as they were called.
We just have to find the colossi then.
Well, as we mentioned, there are a number of them. At least one of the dozens that are scattered across would contain it. However, as Tasha and Mordecai mentioned, the magics in the Mournland, what you might be able to do is perhaps maybe augment the rod's divining power with local magic from the area.
How would we go about doing that?
Well, each colossus was powered by something called a docent, a small sentient metal sphere that employs its sentience and magic on behalf of an attuned warforge. I would postulate that this sort of magic might stabilize and augment the rod's defining powers, so it might directly point the way to the third piece.
And you think this might be enough to break through the problem with the magic?
Perhaps, I just know, and she kind of flips back through the book a little bit, says, it does mention that long ago the Colossi were powered and controlled by these Dawsons. The Dawsons, sorry, I'm going to put that in chat for you.
So wait, if I can interrupt there, Agnos. So are these constructs? Are they active? Are they gonna fight if there's no docent around?
I'm not really sure, Blink, but that is a very good question. I do know that the techniques and tools to create these docents were lost, but working docents can sometimes be still found in the Colossi. Whether or not the Great War Machine would still function would be another matter altogether. I would suggest, as would the rest of you, and she kind of glances to Tasha and Mordecai, and they both kind of nod. And then Illustrio continues, says, I would suggest that you try to find a working docent to tune it to the rod piece once you arrive.
Well, that definitely sounds like something that Agnoth should be able to do.
As long as we can find one, I can give it a try.
Sorry, I hate to keep interrupting, but Agnos piece or Devana's piece, because we have two of them.
Well, as we had mentioned before, and perhaps you might not remember, of course, you've been on a very harrowing journey, Illustrial says. And Tasha kind of bluntly interrupts. The second piece points to the third piece, so we would attune it. You would need to attune it to Agnoth's piece.
Mm-hmm.
T. And Milena kind of nods, and you see her kind of head up the steps. And a short while later, as you're, kind of all discussing what's going on, she does come back and set some tea down on the different tables for everyone.
Wonderful. Could always use a cuppa.
Well, Devana looks up eagerly at the offering of food and thinks, are we going to head out to this new land? What do we think about a feast before we go?
Well, it couldn't hurt, that's for sure.
That is true.
How soon do we think we're going to head out?
All you have to do is when you're ready, and they all three at almost in synchronized motions, all gesture towards the portal over here, and look to you and the second rod piece.
The search
Sorry, I keep saying
for
piece, but
this
part. 7 parts.
docent may take us some time, so I'm not sure how much you want to put into this feast.
Well, how long does it last?
24 hours. So
Yeah, that's
until
fine.
our next long rest.
I think it.
Given
I-
the size of the Mournlands, Mount Iron Rot, what are our odds of finding what we're looking for within 24 hours?
are we going right to Mount Ironrot to the portal, or do we have to travel?
You don't know. Remember, once the portal opens, you'll see the shimmering thing, and you'll discover where you're at on the other side.
Well, it will cost 1,000 gold to, in the form of this lovely bowl, um, to cast this spell. So if you all think I should wait, but it is very beneficial if we think we're going to be getting in danger.
Hmm. I
And
mean,
plenty of
Renly comes
has
Renly
Blink
comes
won
down
enough
from
to, make us that much gold yet? Can we just do this all the time?
I can. It takes an hour though, so it's not something we can do quickly. But it's going to be pretty cool, and she explains to the team, all the benefits it'll get them, and but we have to eat for an hour, so I can't do it on a whim.
Like gazpacho?
Yes, we could have gazpacho.
But whatever we like.
Well,
Yes.
cool.
Blink
I mean,
is familiar with gazpacho.
And what were you saying, really, as you're coming down the stairs from your second bath
I
today?
just come down from a bath feeling all refreshed and say, huh? What's that? You need 1,000 gold? Oh, here you go. And give you 1,000 gold.
You've scrubbed twice today, Renly, and just the stench of that dragon, that the inside of the heart, just stills in the back of your nostrils.
Yeah, it's rough. I'm not gonna lie. And honestly, some of it got into my coin purse, and I'm just giving Tavana some of the gold that is covered in the stank.
all right, sir, that's me. I haven't showered yet.
Blink, hygiene. We talked about this. Don't be
Right.
that kid in class.
My name's not Gene, sir, but hi to you too.
Oh my.
Illustrial chuckles when you say that.
Minerva's gonna give Renly one of her scented handkerchiefs so he could hold it to
Mhm.
her. This might help you.
Thank you. I put it like tied her on my face like a train robbing bandit.
and then she proceeds to cast precipitation all over Blink.
There you go.
It's like, yes, let's just clean you up a little bit. I mean, hot water does feel quite nice.
I don't want to take a bath.
Blink,
Egnoth,
no more killing baddies unless you take a bath.
Egnoth mutters quietly to the Dragonel next to him. And would you believe that he gave your master grief over smelling bad?
I did not have to be the one to say it, but that entire insult is now null and void. Thank you.
Might have been a backhanded compliment. You're not sure.
Yeah.
Stank
Dragons.
twins.
No. Not that.
But for real, Devana, take 1,000 gold.
Davana will. She will actually ask the Wizards 3 if they have diamonds or another chalice in exchange for this gold.
Of course.
I know Mitch is very kind and just lets us have the gold, but I just want to have it as a token.
No, they do say if there's anything specific that you need to purchase, they have no problems supplying you with needed spell components if you have the coin for it.
Perfect. I will buy the chalice needed for the hero's feast. So when the team deems it time, we have everything we need for this wonderful feast.
All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to get? Milena does mention that if you need to purchase anything, any adventuring equipment or anything like that, she's getting ready to make a run into the city. If you need anything picked up, she can certainly send people out to grab this for you as well while she's in the city. Unless you're ready to head out at the moment, she says.
Well, we're definitely going to be feasting for at least an hour. I think of what we might need. I don't know.
I love it's easier for the chat to view everything that's going on in Roll20 now as well.
at spell scrolls.
Mhm.
Bought a couple before we left last time, and they ended up, coming in kind of handy. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything that would be helpful from that point of view.
Maybe raise dead scrolls might be interesting.
I told Blink to leave DOS alone.
And then here you go, having to resurrect Blink.
Oh, zing.
Zing zing.
That's a good question. Do we have enough gold?
Or resurrection?
Yes.
I think resurrection is what,
ten.
10,000?
Yeah, I'm going to look how much it is. I know I have enough. I have diamonds on hand for revivify
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
greater restoration. I have diamonds for those. Where is it? There it is. Resurrection.
If we don't, I'm sure there's a casino here.
It's 1,000. Yeah, it's only 1,000 gold, which is not terrible.
Oh,
Yep.
resurrection's only 1,000?
Only a diamond worth 1,000 gold. Yeah.
I'm honestly a
I
little
thought it was
surprised
more
you're
than
not
that
building
as
a
well.
casino,
So I
because you
think
could.
we're good. Yeah.
Hub first, casino later, Agnoth.
There is a gaming room you can have that goes off there.
So if there's anything you want to purchase from the like adventuring equipment wise or anything like that, feel free to ask about if there's any like minor, like common or uncommon magic items. You might be able to find something like that. If there's anything special or particular that you've been looking for, I mean, it is sigil.
Sir, can I have 5 gold, please?
100 gold? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then I will go and I don't want anyone else to see this, but after all of these insults, I'm going to buy all my 5 gold worth of perfume.
Okay. She will keep it quiet. She does ask if everyone's up to date on their healer kits.
Devana is up to date on her healing, on all her good healing stuff. I'm looking to see how many. I'm well loaded up on healing potions as well right now. Looks good.
What about holy water? Milena asks.
Ooh, I have holy water. I think I have some holy water. I do. I have 1 flask of holy water.
Ooh.
Might want
Yeah.
Holy
more.
water sounds like a really good idea. If she is suggesting it, I think we all should get some.
I'm feeling like maybe
I'm just suggesting it because on Sunday, our adventurers did not have any holy water whatsoever, and they faced 6 flame skulls, and then they came back through and faced them all again about 6 hours later.
yeah, I've been in those situations before. I don't know, I'm getting the feeling that if this is a place where a lot of people died, which is what it sounds like, maybe there's remnants
Possibly.
of those people. So I unfortunately do not have a whole lot of powers in that way. But we have a paladin and a cleric, I'm sure we'll find.
You do, yeah.
I'm wondering, or Devana is wondering, if there's any upgrades to armor that we could get Blink. Blink is our lowest AC'd fighter, and Devana taking half of his damage on a regular basis. We could upgrade his armor in some way at this offer.
I'll donate to that fund.
What type of armor is Blink wearing?
I am wearing a mariner's plate, kind of swimming kind of plate. Yeah, that.
What do we think about finding some adamantine armor for you?
Ivana will chip in for that as well.
Oh yeah, because
Anything-
that would negate any crits. Yeah.
If that type of purchase is available right now, DM.
I'm checking that out for you.
I know it's a little bit out of your normal gear.
No, actually, yeah, you could find some. She knows a person. If you wanted to pick up some mantine plate, you can do so. Probably would want to trade in as Agnos puts it, marinated plate if you want.
Yeah,
It's
Blink, would
been-
you be willing to trade in your old plate for some new plate?
I don't know if that's going to help his AC though. We'll stop him from getting critted from the critical hits.
Oh, right, because he doesn't use a shield.
He doesn't use his
That's the
shield.
thing.
Yeah.
No, I don't, sir.
I mean, what about
I was gonna say,
some
what
magical plate? Like
what
some
type of
+1
shield?
plate?
type of shield is Blink using?
Ace.
Just a regular shield?
No shield.
No, no, shields are for,
Oh,
for
yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
are afraid of getting hit, like dolls.
I mean, my apologies. What are you? You said you had the attunement slots. Well, what about rings and cloaks and such like that?
Oh yeah, a ring of protection or a cloak of protection could go well if you don't have something like that.
Right
already.
now, I'm attuned to my hat of disguise, so I can look like Captain Renly,
Mm-hmm.
and a spear of warning, and I don't have a third attunement slot. Oh no, sorry, the chime of exile. I think I have that now. I forgot about that.
Oh, I thought they took that away from you last session.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They did. They didn't trust me with it, so no.
No, we gave him something last time. We said he should take the Ring of Evasion.
Oh yeah. The Ring of Evasion. That's right.
But if
Oh
you
yeah,
didn't
that's
want
on my character sheet. Okay, yeah. I mean, I could put that on.
Let's see. What is the?
Ring of Evasion, or if you wanted something of protection, that would be the other idea.
So your mariner's
Yeah, I
armor is plate armor. Or is it chain?
It's play. I don't know why you're fussing over me. Every time someone hits me, I only feel like half of it.
Yes, well.
Blink Divana feels the other half, though, don't you think?
Really?
Yeah, bud.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh,
let's get
okay.
you something shiny and new.
Maybe we should get her armor.
That's not going to help me if you get hit.
That's not how. I'm not going to try and explain that to you. So, what we're going.
It should be, though.
Do you want shiny new armor, or perhaps a cool cloak or a cool ring? Another cool ring, because we already got you this one. See the little bird on it? It's cute.
It's pretty adorable, sir. Whatever you say, sir. I'm happy building my pub.
So my thoughts are like +1 plate, ring of protection, or cloak of protection.
She could easily find those. Yes.
+1 plate does not take an attunement spot, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I think that would be our preference if it is available.
Yeah.
She said it's going to be about 2,500 gold, but she could easily find some.
Devana can easily chip in 800 for that.
However, if Blink wanted to trade in his mariner's plate, she believes that she could probably get an even trade for it.
Do I want to do that, sir?
Well, Blink, I think we're farther and farther from the ocean, and I
Portal
don't
opens
see
into
us-
a vast sea. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we just got out of the sea. There was no water to be found. So
If it comes down to it, I can cast Water Walk.
there you go.
And then we just go over the sea.
And if you want, when we get back to our house in Neverwinter, I'll take you out and I'll give you swimming lessons.
That's right. I can't swim without that, can Whatever you say, sir. I mean, out of character, I'm never going to say no to toys. In
Yeah, that's-
character, I have no gold. So it's whatever Captain says goes.
Yeah, that's right. I have all your gold. Let's give it a swap. Let's get you some +1 plate.
Okay. Anything else? Anything common or uncommon like that?
Well, I was also looking at potions, like different kinds of potions that we might want to take too. Like if there's everything's attunement. Here, we can get Blink a ring of water walking, and then he doesn't.
I was just looking up like the ring of swimming.
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't require attunement,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and you could swim. I'll buy Blink a ring of swimming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what about the cloak of mana ray? Don't we have one of those somewhere too?
That's that Minerva has that too.
No, Devon, he's not swimming faster than me.
Minerva wears that too.
Yeah, that was given to me when I fell into the sea, and yeah, that was like whole backstory stuff. But I just lent it to Devon for a while.
Yeah, that's why I remembered it. Yeah.
The ring would be pretty expensive. You're looking around 5,000 gold for the ring.
Oh, dang! Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, something we can
We can
look
talk.
at later. I think we have spells. If we're in a particular
Yeah.
predicament, I think we've got spells that cover it for a short period.
But yeah, if you wanted to trade Blink's Mariner plate for plate +1, they would take it probably. She said that she would be able to do it in a straight trade. Welcome in, Zargon. Welcome in.
Let's do it.
Let's see. I know we're all like shopping.
No worries.
Shopping episode,
Spells.
shopping.
Yes. DOS will put in an order with them. It may take a little time, but put in an order with them for some additional barding for DOS Dragon here, Brazen. We probably could use a little bit. Probably can only afford right now. Probably do like a chain shirt version of that. So
I think it's 4 times the cost of the armor.
yes,
The
so
barding?
he could afford actually chainmail, but then it would actually give some challenges to the creature's stealth. So we'll just work on chainmail chain shirt for now.
Okay. What
Which
about
would
breastplate?
Breastplate would cost a lot more. A
Gotcha.
breastplate would cost 2,000 gold for barding, which is not in the funds right now. So a chain will work.
Okay.
Chain shirt for the moment.
So she'll get some chain barding like that for Dragon. Do you want to get an exotic saddle? I'm assuming as well. Actually,
Yes,
we're going
please.
to say you have an exotic saddle. I already mentioned it earlier, so you already have an
All right.
exotic saddle.
Great. The more exotic, the better.
And you should have access to the Dragonel's character sheet too, if you want to change that after you pay the fee.
Yes. Let's go and do that.
That will
Yep.
increase Blink's AC to 19. Nice.
Just did. Thank you, sir.
Don't mention it. You paid for half, or you paid for all of it. It was your armor. Don't mention it.
I already mentioned it, sir.
It's okay. Just don't mention it again. No, it's fine.
You'll confuse him.
I know. Got a 50-50 shot of that no matter what, though, don't you think?
But any other questions about scrolls or potions, as mentioned before you head out? She will pick up the perfumes, the armor for both Dragon and Blink. Or are you good to go?
I think I'm good.
Good too. I'd need more time to figure
Oh.
out what scrolls to take.
Oh, that
Alright.
missed. Thanks
All
for
right.
being late.
So, are you wanting to cast your Hero's Feast before you go through the portal?
What does the team think? And it is not cheap. It is 1,000 gold every time I cast it, but
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
it can be well worth it.
Yeah, we have no idea what we're going to run into over there. I mean, Colossus, War, Ford. I don't know. It sounds pretty dangerous to me. And every time we've come over into one of these lands, we've kind of like fell right into it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a point. Every time we go finding one of these pieces of the rod, we run into something. So, sure, why not?
Excellent. So Devana starts casting Hero's Feast.
Okay.
She's taking orders for people as it takes 10 minutes to cast. So as she's casting, she'd like to hear, "Oh, look at the puppy." Sorry, I'm easily distracted.
That's how you cast Hero's Feast?
No, there's no puppy in the Hero's Feast. No.
Oh,
She'd like to hear what everybody's favorite food is, so she can make sure to include it.
Sure.
look at, I actually have that from Minerva somewhere. It's like some honey flame bread thing.
The puppy could be the sous chef. That's true, Agnoth. Yeah, I think when we made your characters for the Call of Netherdeep game, and for those
Yeah.
watching, the 5 of the characters we actually ran the Call of the Netherdeep, and we actually played with all 6 players in Dragonlance. But Das is the only character from that came over. I think when we made your Netherdeep characters, there wasn't a thing that we went through in your character
The heroic
creation.
chronicle.
Yeah, your chronicle.
Yeah, here. So mine is honey flame bread. Blink has the umurandali.
Same
I
for
will
Agnoth.
definitely
Nice.
include both of those.
And then spider egg souffle, of course.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, of
Oh,
course.
yes. Definitely we'll have spider egg souffle
I
in
mean-
here.
That goes without saying.
Right.
I wish it would go without saying.
It will be right the center, big centerpiece of spider egg souffle.
Sure.
My favorite food thing is one of the trust ales from the Critical Role setting, but I would also like a traditional Maryland seafood bake.
Yeah, right.
Done.
I was gonna say, would it be sacrilege or cannibalism if we had, octopus?
No, I wouldn't.
nigiri?
Stumpy gets it.
Let's roll to see if Stumpy gets it. No, I'm just... GM roll.
Doc,
Oop,
how
but no,
about
double
you
R. Shit.
and your
Yes, I would
And your
definitely like
lovely-
sashimi plate, please.
done. Das, how about you and Brazen, your lovely dragon? What would Brazen like?
Yeah,
'Cause I know
similarly,
it's 12
probably.
people.
Yeah. Das was born and raised on the sea, or lived much of his life on the sea, captaining some reaver ships. So it would also be calamari or equivalent octopus, and maybe some large, marlin or similar kind of enormous whole fish.
Halibut.
Excellent. Yeah. As I'm
Yeah.
casting all this up and people are telling the favorite foods, they just appear on the table.
Yeah, and when you're finished with the casting, before you is a feast table filled with all of your foods, as well as a few other minor things here and there that the weave decided to add in for you. And of course, the cornucopias here and there spilling forth your foods, wonderful utensils and dinnerware, and goblets and pitchers of your favorite ale, your drinks and things of that nature. So everyone go ahead and you can partake of the Hero's Feast. Go ahead and Devon, if you'd pop that into chat so they know exactly what that's going to do for them.
Well, if you're going to spend 1,000 gold on a meal, you could do worse.
Rolled pretty bad on those 2d10, but you get 9 hit points, not temporary. Your hit points go up by 9 for 24 hours.
And are you including Milena, Illustrial, Mordenkainen and Tasha in that.
If I can do up to 12.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and take
Does
the benefits
Brazen
of
get a little
that.
bowl in the corner?
Brazen can. We do have an ad break coming up here in just a few moments, so go ahead and put the effects of the Hero's Feast on your characters. When we come back, we'll get ready to head through the portal. So those watching, go ahead and use the restroom, stretch your legs, grab some snacks, replenish your beverages, and we'll see you on this other side of the break. So please stick around. We'll be back in a few. All right, and we're back on this side of the ad break, just waiting for one or two players maybe to come back. I think pretty much everyone's back so far. Yeah, so it's cold in the desert, huh? Oof.
It is cold here in Tucson. I mean, I do in Tucson we do get seasons. It's not warm all year round.
Yeah.
But it is, like you said, like you joked, we do think 80 is cold, right? um, and it is super chilly here this week.
Yeah,
We occasionally get snow. We haven't seen any this year, but I mean it's real occasional.
we're starting to get that La Nina coming through,
Oh,
so it's not too bad, which is going to be awesome because this weekend's the virtual D&D weekend, but then next weekend, the following weekend is Winter Fantasy, which is up in Fort Wayne. And I think this is the first time in a long time we're going to actually have decent weather, like almost
no snow?
no snow, almost probably
Whoa.
shorts weather for me. I mean, I wear shorts when it's like 35 degrees outside, though, but it's supposed to be
That's
like
like
in the
people-
40s and 50s, which is going to be really interesting.
Wow. Yeah, people from Alaska come down here and they're always wearing shorts when it's like 30.
Right. Plus, then we have Chicago for Magic Con 2 weeks after that, and there's not supposed to be any snow for that either. So I'm like, oh my goodness, Chicago
Yeah,
in
we didn't
February
get
with
any-
no snow? That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, we didn't get any snow this year. I mean, we usually get like a week or two, maybe a little more, maybe a couple times, but we didn't get any this winter.
Yep. All right. Well, we've got the players back. The feast has concluded. You all do have advantage on your wisdom saving throws. Your hit point maximum is increased by 9 for 24 hours, and you also are immune to poison and frightened. So you do not need to be in Dawson's aura to be immune to frightened.
And
But it doesn't hurt.
advantage on your wisdom saving throws will be huge,
Mm-hmm.
or could be. We'll see what we're up against.
Well,
I like
Alessio and the other members of the Wizards 3, as well as Milena, all head back over into the laboratory and say they're going to start doing any more research that might be helpful to you when you return, and wish you well.
Minerva buttons up her traveling coat. Ready to
Cross
go
my
in?
finger that we're not going to land in a lake in Eberron, because then I'll feel like a jerk.
Are you ready to go?
I think so.
Go ahead and give me a ready check and roll 20, if you would, please, if you are ready and prepared. All right. I'll move you over to another map. And you find yourselves down here. For now, it's a rather large map, so we're using a party token to represent your party. Stretching out, looking behind you, you see a 20-foot tall vertical black oval made of glass that sits on the muck atop a low hill. You see that the oval reflects the surrounding mist-shrouded landscape with supernatural clarity. It's like a giant mirror. Of course, it is a doorway between where you are now and Sigil. Stretching out, you can see a river, or perhaps maybe perhaps maybe the remains of a river that leads towards the lake farther to the north, which seems to be all coming down from some waterfalls from Mount Ironrot far to the north. You see stretched out a number of these colossi, stretching out around. You do see what appears to be some sort of camp with what appears to be a little bridge that crosses this river, as well as what appears to be perhaps maybe the ruins of a settlement farther to the north up the river.
Can we see the extent of this map, like the entire valley all the way up towards the end?
Pretty close to it, yes. From where you're at right now, yes. Keep in
Are
mind
the
there are
colossi to scale?
yes. from what I understand.
Wow.
Now, I will say this for you all and for those watching: I have never ever ran a game in Eberron. I have my own personal things about that, which I think I've shared with you all before. So this is my first time running at Eberron.
That's funny. I've run a game in Eberron.
It's
Love
D
it.
and D, but like for the history of the
Yeah.
game world, I'm not really exactly caught up on that. But you can start beginning your journey. You do see some colossi to the right and left from this vantage point up on this hill as you're looking down. Is there any particular direction you'd like to start off with?
Agnoth, do you feel a pull?
That's a point. I'll hold out the piece of the rod and see if I sense anything at the moment.
When you hold out the rod, trying to have it determine which direction the third part is, you see it doesn't affect it it doesn't really affect it or anything, but you do see just kind of sparks kind of coming off the end of the rod part. And go ahead and give me an Arcana check then, if you would please, too. Yeah, you can definitely tell that the divination, the magics, the wounded magic in this region seems to be interfering with the rod's ability to detect where this might be.
We might have to just start looking at those machines.
Let's just maybe go to the first one and see if we can find. We're supposed to find a docent, right? That might help
Yes.
us.
Was I pronouncing that correct, by the way? A docent?
Yeah, I think it's a docent.
Okay.
Das will take this opportunity now that we're in a wide open space and say, all right, let's go here, Brazen, and we'll mount the dragon and kick off and fly up into the air.
Okay.
Take a few hundred feet up into the air and sort of coast over. We won't get too far ahead of the party, but we'll make sure to sort of keep an eye out in case we see any activity coming as we move towards our first colossus.
As you start to fly up into the air, you see that the world starts to shimmer a bit. And give me an Arcana check once you're up in the air. As you guys see Das take off from the ground on the back of Brazen, in an instant he's just alighting into the air, and just in a moment he appears to be miles up in the sky.
All right. I'm not going to do well on this, but let's go for it.
You don't know what the reason for it is, but you know Brazen is not that fast. And looking down, it seems that this Colossus here is closer to you than what this one was when you first took off. And your party, as you look down to them, it looks like you're just literally floating above their heads.
There seem to be some spatial anomalies in this valley.
Give me an Arcana check, Agnoth. Ooh, indeed. It does seem as if this land, not only has the magic affected just not only your teleportation magics because of this, and the divination magics and such like that, it seems that general travel might be affected by it as well. You have the feeling that these distances and locations anywhere that you are in this area of the Mournland are indeterminate and ever-changing.
All right. Well, Brazen, we shouldn't get too far away from this party, otherwise they might not be able to handle themselves without us. So let's stay closer down to the ground. We'll stay within like a sort of 30 foot.
But do me a favor, though, as you're doing that, descending Das, give me a perception check, please.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, he's coming back. He must have missed us.
Paladin perception, this is always fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right. You again. They look like they're very close to you. But as you start to travel back down to them, it seems that the size of your group doesn't really change. But those looking up to Das, you see him like boom, immediately appear right back above you, and you're just about 30 feet above them right now on Brazen.
All right. Well, Das, thinking they're way far down below him, will just scream in their ears, I'm not sure what's exactly going on with the distance, but there's something weird about this place.
You don't say.
I'll keep a lookout from way up here.
Us. We're right here.
I can barely hear you.
You don't need to yell.
Sir, may I?
You're not gonna kill him, are you?
Maybe. No.
Fine.
If he's in fact only 30 feet away from me, I'm going to try to put my echo up on the back of the dragon, switch places with him, and yell in his ear, "You don't have to shout!"
Give me a percentile roll, please. Perks. Ooh, wow.
Oh, is that good or bad?
No, that's good. That's good. This was to make sure that the distance was within what you were, and you landed perfectly right on Das's back, and you can go ahead and convey through the through your echo.
No, I'm going to switch places with my echo, so I'm going to yell in his face, and then if I can, next turn, I'll pop back down, because I just wanted to yell at him once.
Okay. So with that double lot, you pop the echo back up there, and then you're able to switch places with it. And you feel kind of a jolt with Brazen a little bit, almost as if like kind of rocking back Das. And you immediately feel Blink on Brazen behind you. Blink, go ahead.
You don't have to shower right there!
What? I can barely hear you.
Poof, I'm back down. I don't know anything more to say.
Okay.
So it was a perfect 100 for nothing more than a gag. Sorry, guys.
It's very on point.
It's also very on point for
very
Blink, right? Yes,
It was
it's
worth it. It was worth it.
Yes.
directly on brand for Blink. So which direction would you like to head?
Well, which one looked closer to us? I would think.
This one looks closer, but Das, when he was up in the air, thought this one might be closer. So you do know that the distances kind of change intermittently as you travel. So you're not really sure how. I mean, it's really even hard to gauge how far away things are.
Maybe we just pick one and see what happens.
That's kind of that's my thing. Flip
I mean,
a
if
coin.
I've got to go in a river and cross it, I'm not going to be mad.
Do you like rivers all of a sudden?
I like all kinds of water.
Okay. Oh, yes, there is that.
I mean, I don't know what you guys are worried about. Traveling was easy.
But that might make it easy for me, but not so much everybody else. Maybe let's go to the one that doesn't have a geographic barrier between us and it.
That we
So
know
this-
of, sure.
That we know of, correct. So maybe we try that one.
Okay, want to start heading in this direction? Not a problem.
Yep.
We'll start
like There's
slowly.
the bridge by the camp too. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For all we know, that's a day and a half away.
yeah, right.
That's a good
And-
possibility.
With these mountains all around here, as we travel, I want to whisper to Devana, so which one of these are your parents from?
I will point to the one that is the farthest away, like barely visible. Like that one.
Blink makes a note that we're all going to go to that one.
All right, fair
But like
enough.
over on the other side of it.
So you start your trek across this barren land. You definitely have, as you're making your way across, everyone give me a perception check. I'm sorry, perception checks at disadvantage, please.
that
Divana
was the
net
ways.
once for a 16.
One of
And I was
16,
in
right?
Nat 20. Yeah.
17, 3, 16, 8, 3, and 14. Devana and Agnoth, you have to stop every once in a while, but you're able to kind of keep your companions on pace. As every once in a while, it's almost like a mirage effect, where it seems that you're getting closer, and the Colossus just almost seems that you're almost to it, and then you stop and kind of gain your bearings and still realize that you've traveled for a couple of hours already.
I can see why no one lives here.
And eventually, after about 6 hours of travel, you finally do make your way over to this Colossus. Making your way up there, you see that what once was a massive bipedal war machine made of stone and metal. And wood now lies in ruin. You see fragments of the mechanical titan lie scattered about. Each piece as big as a barn.
Well, this will be difficult to take home for the shop.
Their size may have been slightly undersold. I think this is a little more than 3 doses.
Is your stick telling you anything, though?
I hold the stick out, and I don't expect much, but we'll see.
It does, yeah. Again, it's not. Again, the sparks coming off the end of it doesn't seem to be pointing in any direction specifically.
Well, let's see if we can find one of these docents. Maybe there's something in here.
You should be careful, though. Anything
Looking
big
up-
enough to house something probably does.
Perhaps, yes. You do note that even though they mentioned the docent for you and such like that, or docents, you really, I keep saying DOS like docent, but the docents, you really don't have an idea exactly where they're at, so it will take a bit of time to make your first search. So I need one person to make the check for the group. It would be an intelligence investigation check. I'm assuming you're going to have Agnoth make that. Or attempt it, I should say.
Oh, yes.
Yes, and
Sorry.
assist however possible. We know it's magic, but this is all metal, and I know detect magic gets blocked by that, so I'm not gonna use the wand. But definitely helping.
I'm gonna trigger my see invisibility. I know we all have one, and I'll just start. See if that is maybe this docent's invisible. I don't know.
If a guidance will help.
So with the help, does that give advantage, or is it just...
First thing that happens, I need for you, please, Renly, to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh shit! I mean, darn.
You can say shit. That's okay. We have it's TVMA. As you cast see invisibility, at the last moment, you realize that it's a divination spell, and you're blinded.
Can I try to flash of genius him?
If you wish.
I'm going to do that because a blind Renly is in no one's interest.
Huh?
But that's a +5 though. I don't know if 16 is enough.
DC 15 is what your DC was. Yep, that will help. As you see, your vision starts to just go black for a moment, but you see just a flash of Agnoth's intellect kind of shoot from Agnoth over to you, and enables you to fight off the effects of the casting the errant divination.
Agnoth, thanks for flashing me.
You're welcome.
Now, quick question. So, did it not work? And so I'm not seeing invisible? Or did, like, the flash of genius take over and, like, it did work?
You feel that it might be working?
Okay. Yeah, you can't, I guess, you don't
But
know if
you don't
there's nothing
see
visible
anything
around.
invisible around you, correct?
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But it will take some time to search. I mean, this Colossus is fairly large and very massive, so it will take you. Let's see here. Oh, the GM roll. Take you about 4 hours to search it fairly thoroughly for that. But as you're searching, which will put you about 10 hours into your trek here, as you're searching, I need one person to give me an investigation check.
All right, here goes nothing.
And your guidance, if that, I don't know if that will help it or not, but I will put guidance on you.
If guidance is allowed, I'll add the D, so it'll be a 30 if that is allowed.
Devana, give me a Constitution saving throw, as guidance is a divination cantrip.
Oh
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Is it against a spell?
No, it would be
Okay.
against magical effects.
Okay, yeah, because I have advantage on a spell specifically, but it would not be magical.
Correct,
That would not
yes.
make it magical. Okay. $19.
No problem. You are able to get the guidance off without a problem. So with the 30 on the investigation, you're fairly certain that you searched everywhere in those 4 hours. And there is no docent inside the Colossus. However, as you're looking through, you do find that the location of where the docent should be. You can figure out, you've been checking everywhere and such like that, but you can find that it's not there, and it seems to have been removed with surgical precision, likely by someone who knew exactly what they were looking for.
Maybe they're valuable.
Well, given what we've been told they can do, that does stand to reason. Yes, they might be very valuable. Well, now that we know where to look, we just need to look at the other colossi, and hopefully we can get through this a little bit quicker before all of this feast runs out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So where to next?
I mean, we should look at all of them because Minerva could use them for her shop. We can get every docent.
Exactly. you know, I was thinking that. I'm just like, looking at interesting spare parts of these giant constructs too. There's an
Oh yeah, you
eyeball or
could easily grab small parts here and there. Basically the lenses that they would kind of recognize things through are massive in size. Think of like the face of Big Ben,
that's
size wise.
Well, maybe we should circumnavigate the valley and just go up this side of the river and then back down the other.
Yep, I think
That's a good plan.
Okay. So you're wanting to head to the next Colossus?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Who is going to lead the party across the wasteland?
Oh, that sounds like a survival thing.
Indeed it does.
I'm terrible at survival, and I'm not trying to nominate.
If you need me to,
Right.
Sarah, I can always go first.
I'm decent at things when it relates to navigation. If that's what
Oh,
we're
because you're labyrinth thingy, or
Yeah. Let's find that. Labyrinthian recall. That said, I'm not super. Well, my wisdom's not terrible. Oh no, my wisdom is terrible. But so that's kind of a bit of a wash in terms of.
Here's the thing though, is that your ability would give you advantage, but because of the indeterminate, never-changing surroundings, you would normally have disadvantage. So that would give you a straight roll on your survival checks.
And I,
You, Devana.
Yeah.
Just everyone.
Devana might be able to lead us around, but
Why did I think Blink had decent survival? I thought that was a switch.
I mean, Blink does, but people constantly underestimate me, Minerva. I don't understand it. Even Sir, I mean,
Yeah, I seem to recall that you were actually pretty good at.
Doth may be labyrinthine, but I'm amazing.
Okay, that was good.
I mean, I'm a +7 to survival, but DOS with advantage might be better, honestly, out of character.
Well, you'd be mechanically wise. Blink would be rolling with disadvantage because you could see. I mean, not only is the distances stretching every once in a while, such like that. There's also a mist that blankets the land around you as well, and shifts and such like that, kind of lightly obscuring stuff. So normal, you would make a check, survival check with disadvantage, but since Das has the labyrinthine recall, he would make it as a straight roll.
Yeah, and DOS's straight roll might be better than my disadvantage.
Perhaps.
What you have +7?
I was told there would be no math.
I will attempt to guidance him again.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Are you willing to go blind every time, Devana?
We don't know yet. We'll see what happens if she fails to
trust you guys
save.
to get me there. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
give me a saving throw. Constitution. You're able to get guidance to work without a problem. So who you're going to guidance? Das?
DOS. Yeah,
Okay.
DOS.
Das, give me a
All right.
straight roll for survival.
Survival. Oh, wait, actually, yeah. All right. We're going to use our heroic inspiration. on that
All right.
one. We're still going to really see how this is doing. 10.
As you start to travel, you're leading everyone across the waste, and you travel for about 4 or 5 hours,
oh man,
and you still seem to be about halfway there. However, everyone give me a, so this has been a total of 15 hours so far that you've been here in this landscape.
Does everybody still feel full? Belly's good from that yummy feast?
Yes, at the moment, yes. But everyone go ahead and give me a perception check if you would.
At disadvantage or just
Yes, a disadvantage.
Okay, I'm going to re-roll that and take the worst, so that's a 10.
Mine at disadvantage
19.
was the first one, 19.
Perfect, yes.
I keep getting natural 20s on these, except that
Damn
it's a disadvantage.
Devana, as you're traveling, you happen to notice something fairly interesting. You happen to spot, as you're kind of glancing up, you see a kind of a ridge not too far away. You seem to spot what appears to be a band of 5 bipeds walking single file across this ridge.
I will point that out to everyone else. Should we flag them down?
Well, maybe they can help. Maybe they know how to cross this place a little better than we do.
Everyone see the handout I just posted for you?
Mm-hmm.
and this isn't one of those places where like, oh, we're in the hells and everything is out to get us and everything. It seems like a normal land filled with people, and the war's supposedly long over, so maybe we can benefit for some Okay, we should pull over and ask for directions. I'm just trying to say.
Wait,
I'm
Devon,
starting to think people just stopped fighting here because I couldn't find the other army.
Devon, do you still have those like things that you could see far away? Those glasses you could see far away?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Eyes of the Eagle, I think they were, but I no longer have those equipped.
Okay.
Sir,
I was just trying to see if we can see any more details of these folks.
you could send DOS up on the dragon and see if they shoot at him.
Do any of us have thaumaturgy?
I've got lots of cantrips. No.
Devana will just start shouting very loudly and jumping up and down. Hey! Hey, you! Over here!
Do you start kind of moving in their direction?
You want
Yes.
to talk to them? Okay.
Okay, and Das, are you going to fly a little bit ahead
Yes.
to greet them first?
Sure, why not? Das is sure he knows exactly where he's going, so he will fly brazen up, not far ahead of the group, but so they can hear his greeting as he proactively shouts out to whoever's approaching, "Hail and well met! Who do we have the pleasure to speak with?"
You see the person in the back kind of, you hear some indiscernible shouts, and the four figures in front of them stop. They kind of turn back to look in your direction. And as you get closer, you can see some of their faces. They are dressed in rags and different types of clothing, all wrapped up to kind of keep the blowing winds and such like that. But they seem to be these Warforged that were mentioned to you.
Hmm.
And one of them turns to you and comes back from the front. You see she's kind of more of a female figure of the Warforged, made of like a purple hue. Greetings, travelers. As she kind of glances down behind you and sees your party coming up. Friend or foe?
That depends on what your quest is,
He
Pilgrim.
means friend.
We are indeed pilgrims. You definitely look strange.
Do we?
Not seen your ilk here.
Just a quick scouting expedition.
I see. That is our goals as well. Any aid to offer or helpful advice?
Devana will pull on Renly's sleeve and say, "Ask them about the docents," and she'll step back.
Well, I was just trying not to step on Das's hooves. Yes. Have you all noticed the difficulty with perspective and distance around here?
They kind of, you see all the heads turn to one another, and they kind of look back, and it's like, such is the way. To those that wander the Mournland. If you are peaceful, we are, of course, in search of friendly travelers and artifacts of importance to our people.
Do I feel like I can trust that?
If you want to give me an insight check, feel free. Yeah.
Okay. We've actually, and I'll point back in the general direction of the Colossus that we did search, and we came from back that way a little bit. This is our first day kind of scouting out. We did run into one of those big behemoths. I guess it's Carcass. Looking through, didn't find really anything of note, but I could tell you more if I knew what you were looking for.
Yes, we had checked there ourselves a few days back. Nothing of import there at all.
What kind of artifacts are you looking for? I mean, what's important to you people? Because I'm also kind of a searcher of artifacts, and so just
Give
wondering.
me a persuasion check there, Minerva. Mentioning that you're that.
I'd love to help her if I could.
Sure. Well, we'll take the 24.
Yes.
Well, we are searching for very sacred pieces, artifacts important to our people. Docents.
Oh, that's like one things we have heard of. We're actually, I mean, understanding that it's sacred to you and wouldn't want to like step on your toes, but we are also seeking it mostly to aid us to find something else, to attune something we have to help us.
Oh, yes, they are extremely sacred to our people. We have had recent run-ins, however, with rival salvagers here in the Moorlands. Perhaps
We're
working
not looking
together
to be.
might benefit the both of us.
Oh, we would be glad to assist you.
My apologies, the Warforged says. I am Mercy. And your names?
I'm Minerva.
Agnoth.
Renly. Blink, introduce yourself.
Doth the blessed and my trusty steed Brazen. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, strange creatures.
They kind of tilt their heads to the side a little bit.
They don't think they're strange. Come on now, Das.
This is their place. Remember?
Are we having a Dragonborn situation again?
Right.
The Draconians killed them!
Yeah, right. Actually, is that what they are? Oh my gosh! I had no idea.
No.
But Mercy does say, well, in the spirit of friendship and camaraderie, I would note that the two particular groups of rival salvagers that we've encountered, a band of Syrian veterans, watches a group from the shadows. There also seems to be a gang of openly hostile warforged that we try to avoid at all costs. This,
Why is that?
Not to be insensitive, but how could we, how would we be able to distinguish them from yourselves? Again, we're new to this land.
They would have already attacked you.
Oh,
That's a good.
They are a
good
gang
way
of openly hostile warforged that is loyal to the Lord of Blades, a local warmonger who conscripts warforged to his bloody cause of wiping out anyone who opposes him.
Oh. One of
How
those
successful has he been at that?
Very unfortunately.
So he may be a very powerful adversary.
Indeed.
Well, maybe we won't have to meet up with them somehow.
Perhaps.
And the others were, they were Syrians, did you say?
Syrian, yeah. It's the, like I said, I might be pronouncing this wrong, but
No, that's right.
Seer was the name of the kingdom
Yeah.
beforehand, and they're Syrian
Okay.
veterans.
Right.
Here we go.
now do those groups work together, or just two separate groups of baddies?
I don't know about the motivations of the Syrian veterans, but I do know that the hostile warforged do not work with anyone.
Ah, okay.
And they're also looking for these artifacts, or they're like, I'm starting to get it. It's like Aor or something, where people like go and try and find old ancient artifacts. Am I getting it right? Like, I'm starting to understand.
Searching for what? She says. What did they say?
What?
You said you
It's
were finding what?
They
it's
were
a
what?
lost civilization.
Yeah, and there's a lost civilization, and so there are people, there's scavengers and people who, archaeologists and those types, and wizards who try and find magic artifacts. Is that what this area is like? Is that what
You see
people come here for?
Mercy kind of cocks their head to the side. And it seems similar to what you are describing.
Okay, I see. I see now. Well then. Well, and you're just doing this because it's part of your history. That's why you're trying to find these.
Yes, the docents are sacred to us.
And these other people are trying to find it for.
Everyone give me a history check.
Yeah.
Or an insight check.
Want it to be higher. Here.
Nice, Savannah. Nice, Das. Knowing that the Warforged are constructs that were created and given sentience and life through magic, the Dosts do the same for the Colossus, or the Colossi. And it could easily be understood why these magical sentient things themselves are extremely important and sacred to these the Warforged.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with why these other people want them. I mean, thinking that.
Oh, you could easily glean. Power. You can easily glean that they're definitely powerful. If they could, if you could get a Colossus, up and running, and you had a docent to add to it, I mean, you would have an extremely powerful thing.
Well, it seems like we don't want this Lord of Blades to get one of these up and marching, do we?
Yeah, but we don't want these people to have it either, because we need them. And I'm not even bothering to hide that from the other people there. I'm just saying that out loud.
We only need it temporarily just to attune to it.
Yeah, we just need to find something with it.
Well, we are heading back.
We just need it for a minute.
Well, we are heading back to our village. If you have business to continue to attend to, we can give you directions to Iolos. You can meet us there.
Oh, you wouldn't. If you knew where a docent was, you wouldn't need to be searching the valley for it, so.
Part of me feels like we should follow you, or it might take us a lot longer to find your village. Let's see. I'm looking at the map of do we? I know distance is messed up, but we could maybe try and search this one before heading to the village.
Do you want to ping that for me?
Oh, sorry. I pinged this one.
Gotcha.
And I'm assuming, do they mean this village here?
Mercy gets down on the ground and kind of wipes some stuff away with the muddy ground beneath there. She draws out an area, and you assume that she's talking about this area.
Oh, all right. Well, if we got to go that way, maybe we search this one on the way.
And have you looked there already?
We are returning to the village before we decide to head out. Many of the places we've searched, we're not sure if if the Dosts are still inside, whether or not they've been taken, whether or not they've been, dislodged and somewhere inside the constructs. So we continue to search.
I mean, at least we could hit one on the way. I mean, it looks like it's on the way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm totally wrong if it's on the way or not, because we know the perception is odd here. But
oh, they might be saying we need to cross the bridge and then go north. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they want to go to that camp.
Yeah, Mercy. We spot some big hulking figures, kind of we're a little disoriented. Are there any on the way to the camp, or do you cross the river near your camp, or how would you cross the river?
We cross near our camp.
So if there's one of these big hulking things between us and your camp, we can search that on the way?
If you wish, do you wish for us to travel with you?
That would be wonderful.
Would love it. And tell you what, if we find one of these docents again, we need it in conjunction with our other quest. We have no reason to keep it from you or anything, but we'll be more than happy to share if you allow us to use it to find something else.
And anything else we can help you with, like if these other people are bothering you in some way, we'll
Yes.
gladly give you assistance.
Safety in
Especially
numbers.
in the next 12 hours.
Well, it's been 15 hours so far. So next 9 hours.
Well, and then we'll definitely need to rest anyway, so
Yeah.
this might be our last one to look at before
Mm-hmm.
bedding down.
So would you like for them to travel with you? Mercy says, I would be remiss if I did not inform you that we are not fighters. We are not warriors. Violence breaks out, we will clear the way.
That's fine. It's
Protect
just
ourselves.
we can fight. We're just not the best at navigation.
We need help navigating, and we wouldn't want you to come across while you were traveling too, so we can offer our protection to you.
And they nod towards you.
Sounds like a maid on the celestial plane.
And again, you see Mercy cock their head to the side, not really understanding what you mean.
Sounds like a good match. All right, on to the next Colossus.
And they nod their head, and the pilgrims fall in line with your group. You travel for a couple more hours, and it does seem to be getting a bit closer. But as you're conversing with Mercy, choose someone amongst you to give me an insight check.
Devana.
Oh, I don't know.
Just asking. I don't want to assume, like the investigation, I said, just... Devonta, you can sense that something in Mercy's tone seems to be very melancholy.
I will tug on Renly's sleeve and just lean over and whisper, she seems to be distraught about something, just sad. But I'll say it really softly, just to Renly.
Mm-hmm.
I will like as we're walking, I'll just say, so sorry. We've been told this land is called the Mournlands, and it seems to fit the name quite well. I'm happy to have met a new friend, but sorry if you're carrying the weight or burdens of the past with you as we travel.
And they kind of look to you fairly quick, just like a glance to the side, and they whisper, yes, but not want to speak within range of your companions or my fellow pilgrims. Could we perhaps maybe walk a bit slower towards the back?
Sure, and also please do not be alarmed whatsoever, but does this help? And I cast message, which I have as a full cantrip, not just the earring.
Mm-hmm.
Is that divination?
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
I'm going to say, no, it's transmutation.
Transmutation, yeah. Yep, transmutation. And they kind of look around and they're like, I'm not sure if that would work or not. I don't understand. How did that happen?
Well, you are a different type of folk than we. I'm sure you have certain abilities that our group does not, and this is one of the abilities that I am lucky enough to have.
Give me an Arcana check. Give me an Arcana check. Also, Agnoth, you can make an Arcana check as you're traveling with them too. Think of these creatures. This is kind of the way that I've been, thinking about them and portraying them. Almost like newborns, but fully grown adults. A lot of the world is new to them. A lot of the world they don't understand. They were created, they were given life, they were given sentience in order to fight in a war.
Sure.
But they weren't given much of an education.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll say that every single one, my group has a name. It's called the 10 Eels, and every single one of them is special in a certain way. They all have special abilities or gifts. This is one of mine, but that's also hopefully something that'll make you feel safe in traveling with us, because we all have many talents that we can share to help keep safe if we need to whisper to each other, or perhaps travel distances faster than normal, or perhaps something that would helping our prowess in combat.
Agnoth, that is true. Basro Darrigan does at least get you to 7 eels.
Getting close.
And you
Getting
explain
close.
to Mercy how to whisper back to you with the message cantrip. And it's almost time for an ad break, so we'll find out what Mercy whispers to you back in the message cantrip on the other side of the ad break. So everyone go ahead, feel free to use the restroom, grab some snacks, replenish your beverages, stretch your legs, etc. And we'll be back on the other side of the ad break, so please stick around. We'll be back in just a few. All right, we're back on the side of the ad break. Just finishing up. Everyone taking their small break. Apparently, you can pre-order on D&D Beyond, right? A new adventure for the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon characters. It looks like. Put in your cart.
Yeah.
Didn't cost anything.
Hold Back the Dead releases February 4th.
Ah. That's so funny that we had so much secret stuff around the D&D Open last year, which was released. I can't remember which one of the adventures it's out now. I think Blink, you'd mentioned running it or something. Someone ran it in the group recently. But yeah, that was basically the adventure that was used for the D&D Open, and we had to keep it under wraps because they were going to run it at Gamehole Con as well. So we couldn't say anything about it being, hey, it's the original D&D characters minus or plus the cleric, Nico, I think it was. Is that her name?
Nico, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was one of the adventures that we played here. I think maybe it's the one shot. Right? What was that adventure that we ran where we all played the D&D characters?
It wasn't the same one, I don't think, but it was one of them. It was like
It was very similar
Temple.
to. What was that?
Yeah. There's there was the Uni and the Lost Horn, I think was the first one. And then there was the Temple of Elemental Evil, Scion of Elemental Evil.
Science of Elemental Evil. That's right. That was the
think
one
that's
that is what the D&D Open was actually.
And that's the one I ran, and that's where we understood why they're banning unspelled items, because Devana had Nico's character with that unspelled mace, and that was just amazingly powerful.
Yeah. And I think they were used because of the fact that with it being a tier 1 adventure, that they wanted to have a way for the characters to deal with higher CR creatures. Because if you're watching the cartoon, they're always going up against crazy CR creatures, but hey, they're supposed to be like level 4 characters.
There's Tiamat again.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, so we're traveling with the Pilgrims, the Warforged Pilgrims, and Renly has explained to Mercy how the message cantrip works. And as you're traveling quietly back and forth with your message cantrip, Mercy does speak to you, Renly, and says, yes, I must admit that my melancholy mood is because my best friend has been missing in the Mournland since the day of mourning. The weight of the responsibility of helping to lead my people has not given me the time to search. I've never searched for them since the day of mourning.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was was that 100 years ago, or the war lasted 100 years and it ended more recently?
I would love to tell you that information, but as I said earlier.
Oh, okay, I got you.
From what I understand, I can actually pull up some information here from just
So
this
it's not
ruined
just-
wasteland before the last war, a global conflict that waged across the continent. For over a century. The Mournland was the nation of Seer. An apocalyptic event called the Day of Mourning destroyed it and transformed the region. So that could have been within the last, 5 years, something along those lines. The war lasted for a century, but it ended with this catastrophic event, which is called the Day of Mourning.
Mercy, I'm terribly sorry to hear that, but you are actually all in good company. All of us that I motioned back to the eels have left some ones or some things that have been very important to us, because we too have the burden of responsibility and obligation. But perhaps if we're looking for these docents together and with more numbers, we'll find evidence of your friend. Or if we're able to, we would, I'm sure, be more than willing to help you.
Everyone give me a wisdom saving throw. keep in mind, you have advantage.
Wait.
Because of the
Oh.
Heroes
Yay.
Feast.
Yay. Oh, I have dust
I wasn't
there.
very explicit.
Oops, that's Docs, not Dragon Owl.
Watch.
Look at my feast, it's helping.
So we had a 24, a 21, a 14, a 17 to 16, and a 23. You
Yeah, that's where
all,
Dawson's order that we get extra.
you oh, that's right. Das, did Das throw his in yet?
Oh, whoops, nope, that was There
Nice.
we go.
Okay. So yours was a 17 with Das's aura, right, Minerva?
That's what I'm saying. For a new
Yes.
I
Yeah. You all
Yes,
get an
mine
intense headache as you all have a vision of black and green smoke and lighting in this chamber, greenish color around, as you see the familiar now form of the Archlich Vecna plucking strings in front of him, trying to perform his ritual to remake the multiverse. And you discover that you've learned a new secret. Let me get your handouts, in which we have the secrets. There you go, just to show that to you. And an offering, as you're all able to maintain your composure from this vision. And after, of course, Mercy doesn't notice it, Renly, when you don't really black out or anything like that. You just happen to see it as you're walking. And because everyone made their wisdom saving throw, you're able to continue walking, having seen the vision. And perhaps maybe everyone kind of glancing back to one another as this has happened to you before when you just discovered a secret. Mercy, not noticing it, kind of glances back to you, Renly, after you offer to search. She says, "That would be much appreciated. My friend is a blue and red warforged by the name of Filch." No, before Blink asks, they do not have a cat.
Wait, what?
No cat.
And his name is not Mr.
It's not Mr. Filch.
But additionally, it takes you another 2 hours, since the pilgrims are traveling with you, to make your way to the Colossus.
All right. So they're gonna come and search with us. So we're not gonna stay back here. We'll go look. Excuse me.
If you want them to search with you, they can.
I feel like that's right. I mean, these are not just gold and then their hills. This is pretty important to them.
Mhm.
And I don't want to leave them any kind of distance behind and have them potentially at danger while we're looking. So maybe, how many of them are there, by the way, Mitch?
There were a total of 5, if you recall, from when Das first spotted them.
Yeah, we can kind of buddy system up, make sure each of us are kind of hanging out with one of them,
Sure.
at least.
Wait, buddy?
Blink, I would like it if you would offer some of the protection that you grant me to one of our new Warforged friends here. You can hang out with me and have the Echo hang out with one of them.
Brilliant, sir.
I know. And say let's get to searching.
All right. So the search is. I'm going to go ahead and half this since the Warforged are with you. Search doesn't take very long at all. However, I do need one person to represent your group search and give me an investigation check.
Am I able to risk it and guidance him?
If that's what you would like to do.
I
Yep.
would. And I'm assuming it is Agnoth that I am guidancing.
Yeah, these are big constructs. This is right up Agnos' alley.
Right?
So,
I
All right.
considering it's where I originated.
So before you roll, Agnoth, please go ahead, Devana, and give me a wisdom saving throw. All right. Guidance goes off without a problem.
okay, and this is a straight roll.
Yes. Investigation. Because you're
there's
inside
nothing.
the Colossus itself, you don't have all of the mists and winds and the everything outside of there. So at 22, looking about again, you do not find a docent. However, you do note that there seem to be smaller, fresher boot prints made by lighter bipeds meander aimlessly about the wreckage. It's almost impossible. Well, actually, it is impossible to discern the aim of these lighter bipeds from the tracks alone, like what direction they came from. But you definitely note that they are not the same tracks that the Warforged make. As you can see that the Warforged's tracks, just by looking at them, as the pilgrims that are with you, have deep angular boot prints. Definitely seem to be heavier because of being made of steel and wood.
Someone's been here recently, and I don't think it was the other Warforged. It may have been the Sirens.
Interesting.
I wonder if they beat us to it.
Well, they sure seem to be after these things.
You definitely have without even having to make any checks, you definitely see that these things might be not only valuable, especially to the Warforged, being that they are sacred to their people, but definitely some sort of trade value as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So we have a decision to make. We could either try to follow them, maybe, or we could go to this village.
I
Worried
do not have
that
any quarrel with you following them. Again, as you point out, they do not seem to be the war party of the Warforged. They might be the veterans, but we have no desire to head in that direction. Again, we've given you the location of our village. If you wish to follow the tracks and then meet us back at our settlement, that is fine, but we will not accompany you on such a journey.
Has traveling with them improved our speed at all? Has it helped?
A little
Let's
bit,
move
not a
with
whole
that.
bunch. A little bit, not a whole bunch. As they're still affected by it as you are.
What is the time of day looking like? Is it getting light, hard to see, that kind of thing?
You cannot really tell. It actually is getting fairly dark outside. Most of the day you've traveled so far, and it only took you about 30 minutes or so. So you probably have about maybe 3.5 hours left of the Heroes Feast. It is getting to the point where you are probably going to need to rest soon, but it has definitely gotten dark outside. You're definitely having to rely on dark vision to see, but even then, through the mists, it's still fairly difficult. But even through most of your travel, the sky itself was a dull gray, not really bright light, kind of a cross between bright and dim light because of the mists. and the swirling dust and the wind and such like that.
Devana probably doesn't think this, but Sarah thinks we should go pick a fight.
But
Yeah,
the interior of this Colossus would be a really great place to take a long rest.
I don't want to lose the trail. What does everyone else think?
Whatever you think, sir.
I can give you this much information. Because of you're not sure how long it would take to follow them. I can tell you with the experience of traveling from the portal to the first Colossus, it took way longer than what you thought it would with the change in the distance, and making it from the first Colossus to this one took you a lot longer than what you would think it would. So following it might be a situation, but it might be a situation also where, without resting and such like that. The one thing that you note is that the Warforged don't seem to have the same sort of resting requirements that you humanoids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you wish, it could take you. It might even be faster. You don't know.
And how much do we have left on the hero's feast?
About 3 hours, maybe a little longer.
It's taking us quite a bit to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason we would need to rest is because of the hour of the day. Like, nobody's used anything.
True. Other than your cantrips, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's no problem if you want to press on to follow them.
Maybe until the feast wears off.
Yeah, I agree. Let's maybe give it another few hours if we can, and because it's not like we have to wake up and go to work at 8 a.m. in Eberron. So if we need to take a long rest and sleep in a little bit to get the full rest, we can.
Okay.
But I'd want to use the hero's feast, and also with all the mist and the swirling dust and everything, I'm worried that, and distance and trails being kind of weird, I'm worried that the trail would go cold.
Okay.
Devana, do you have that fancy little sleeping thing bubble still?
Yes,
I do.
Yeah, always prepared to say domain spell, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Well, we have a place to sleep if we need one. So that's Yep. Let's follow the tracks.
Okay.
All right.
Well, Mercy will, out of habit, just whisper to Renly and realize the magic's not working. It's like, oh, yes, well, we're going to head on back to our settlement then. We will hopefully see you there sometime in the future.
Yes, I'm looking to see if I have anything that we could keep in contact with them.
Oh, let me see.
Minerva, you got
mine only
left?
lasts.
Sure.
Mine only lasts. Oh no, it only lasts. Should be far away as possible, but it only lasts 13 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I don't think that I could.
Oh, but I do.
I mean,
well, I have sending, but let's see. What kind of
I thought we had a pair of sending stones, don't we?
that's what I was thought.
We had one. I have sending, so
Okay.
that too. I'll let them know.
I'll
I have
tell
only sending
Mercy.
stones, yeah.
Yeah, and Devana can prep it in the morning if she needs to as well. But if you already have it,
Yeah. I always have it because it's one of my psionic spells, I believe.
I'll let Mercy know that hey, Minerva here might whisper to you from really, really far away. It's a little bit of a more special talent, like I was talking about earlier. So don't be scared or surprised, but we'll just keep you up to the, keep you informed of what's going on, and hopefully you make it back to your village safe, and we'll be there tomorrow.
And all of the Warforged will graciously say their farewells, and will start making their way out into the night, making their way towards their village. However, if you all want to give me a group survival check, this is going to, of course, be at disadvantage to try to follow the tracks, unless you want one person to make that survival check for you.
Did you say it was going to be at disadvantage for each of
What?
us?
If one of us does it, will it be a straight roll?
Well, it depends on if it's DOS that does it or not. Yes,
I
20.
think we should give Doss a chance to redeem himself.
Yes, 5th edition rules. Sending is evocation in 5th edition, not 5.5. We're using 5th edition rules, not 5.5 rules just yet. We're using a couple of them.
Yeah. Oh, is sending divination later or something?
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh.
I just checked it.
I did too.
Well, because I looked at mine and I saw that it was evocation. And I'm like, okay, cool. But, interesting. I'm good either way if we want to make individual checks or we want to.
And some of you still have your heroic inspiration you can give to DOS if need be.
Yeah. I take the chance to cast guidance on him.
Okay, go ahead and give me the con save.
Ooh. Oh, con save. That was a wisdom save.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
24.
Right. Regular, so flat. Survival. All right.
Ooh.
Yay.
Plus the guidance. Let's just add that up. All right, 26.
Nice.
Nice.
Now I know what's going on.
You're able to start following the tracks. In the basically night has fallen over the Mournlands.
All right. I will, on the back of Brazen, will lift off and use our path to point the direction to the rest of my team members.
Okay.
Flying a little ways ahead towards following, well, to see wherever these tracks take us.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. As you start to travel, let me determine the amount of time it's going to take us. You begin your travels from the Colossus, and the tracks start leading you in this direction.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, going to the camp.
And as you come upon it, you happen to see there is you start to see through the mist and the blowing dust, you hear the trickling of the river, the flowing river nearby, and you see just a glimmer of firelight from a campfires. And you do see what appears to be a crumbling stone bridge crosses the river, and now that you're close, you can see the river of indigo water. You note that beneath one side of the bridge, as you make it up to the edge, you see soiled leather tents and bedrolls arranged around a fire pit. And you happen to see what appears to be 3 figures around the fire, sitting on the bedrolls at the moment.
Do we have a plan of approach here?
First, everyone give me a group stealth check, please.
I
I
like.
I think the plan is beyond us.
Yeah.
You do happen to note that one figure seems to be much larger than the other two. And you see the larger figure kind of hold up their hand, and you see the other two smaller figures stop conversing. And the figure kind of looks around, and Devana, with your passive perception, even with the minus from disadvantage, with your 19, you're able to note in the flicker of the firelight that the larger figure seems to be an orc. And from
Right.
this distance, you can tell that the other two appear to be halflings.
I share that with the team.
And you see the orcs, you're kind of like crouched on the edge of the river, right near the crumbling stone bridge, and you can kind of see across to the other side. And see the orc kind of stand up. And
They know we're here.
pardon?
I say to the team, ooh, they know we're here.
Oh yeah, they definitely seem to have noticed that you're there.
Yeah.
And the figure pulls out something and sets it on the ground in your direction.
Uh-oh.
Points it in your direction. And we have a
Ooh,
group of raiders. Welcome in. Welcome in. Magic Academy RPG. Thank you so much for the raid.
Cool.
Gates of Nerd and Queer have opened. Academy raid. Welcome in, raiders. Welcome in. Thank you
I
so
will
much for the
definitely-
follow. For those
I'm
of you
not-
new, sorry guys. For those of you that are new here, welcome to the Master of Dungeons Twitch channel, where we play D&D by night and Lord of the Rings online by day. I am the DM, Master of Dungeons. Over 40 years of experience as a DM. Our players are fairly experienced players. We are playing a homebrew version of Vecna Eve of Ruin. Tonight is episode 16, and they have made their way to the Mournlands at the moment. But welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Go ahead, Devana and Blink, as you were mentioning something.
To us sneaking up, sneaking up / not sneaking up because we're a bunch of heavy armored
Yeah,
crew.
yeah.
To a little encampment where Devana has seen an orc and 2 halflings, and they've pointed some sort of device in our direction.
They have
And that is
indeed. And the orc
telling both our
shouts
telling
out.
both our welcomers and our party.
And the orc shouts out, and she says, "Show yourselves, travelers. You make more noise than a bugbear walking through a china shop."
I'm not sure they can see us through the firelight, so I'm going to go.
Give me a performance check, Blink. It comes out like, bah, bah.
All right.
And
At this point,
at
Das
that
will-
time, real quick, Das, before that happens,
Yeah.
after Blink does that, you see the figure lean down to the contraption, and you hear a distinct.
Oh, we lost your audio.
Mine?
Distinct.
A
Mine?
distinct
Yeah.
what?
Click, click.
Uh-oh. Do we know what
Give
the
me
sound is?
Agnoth. Give me a Arcana check. You don't believe that they're an artificer, but that definitely sounds like some sort of artillery.
That sounds bad, guys.
They're bad guys? Okay.
No,
All right.
no. They think we're bad guys.
I'm so proud of you, Minerva.
At this point, I don't know if Das would have actually been in the to be able to hear the conversation from our team members about what's happening, but basically would probably just decide to land his dragon right at the edge of the camp, and just do his usual sort of land the dragon, or now is his usual land the dragon and say, "Hail and well met, friend or foe."
Give me a persuasion or intimidation. Your choice, Das. You
That
are
will
the
be
paladin.
yeah.
Because that's what he's going for. Let's do some intimidation. All right. Let's see. 1 second. Just gotta load this page again. Please hold.
Please
Das
hold.
Roll 20, ruining my dramatic moment. All right, now here we go. Intimidation.
You
Would
do
you like
see.
my inspiration?
Okay.
Sure. I'll take it if you're not going to
Go
use
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
All right, heroic inspiration. Let's re-roll again. Oh no, I closed that stupid window. It's
Again, keep in mind you can just double click on the name and it will just minimize the character sheet.
Yeah, I actually it popped out too, but for some reason it keeps closing. So we are almost there. Thank you, Roll20, for there we go. Now being open again. And thank you, Renly, for your heroic inspiration. Let's try it again. There we go. Just landing
Ooh,
basically.
nice.
Really,
Right
I
in
want to
the-
give you back your heroic inspiration.
Great.
As you land, they all kind of freeze in place and don't move. You can see now that it is a female orc. The other two figures definitely appear to be halfling soldiers of some sort.
Well, greetings. Have you never seen a dragon before? Or a minotaur?
No to both?
Well, good. Then you don't want to get on the bad side of either of us. And he will dismount from the dragon.
Uh-huh.
And begin walking into the it sounds like a camp or sort of a circle of.
Yes,
around
just
a
a
campfire.
small leathery tents, a couple small leather tents, very soiled, of course, with the dust blowing around from the moorlands, and the mist is kind of clear here underneath, not really completely clear, but not as obscured as the plains and the wasteland around you. And you could see the fire and kind of like a little wind block area underneath here with the three bedrolls. And you see the two halflings kind of start to inch their way back away from you a little bit towards the orc. And the orc,
Hey,
very, you could tell that you've definitely intimidated them. But you can see that the orc is definitely trying to hold her own. She's trying.
All right.
You think we should follow him just in case he gets into trouble?
We
You
I think
follow
we're good.
Das?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know Das.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we bring up the rear. We let
Yeah.
Das take the lead on this, but yeah, I think we can start moving forward.
So do you want to go across the stone bridge? I mean, it is crumbling a bit, but there's that very odd-looking indigo-colored river that you would have to cross, as Das is kind of landed over here on the opposite side of the bank.
Oh, the other side. Got it.
Well, Das will just say, "Well, you have not attacked me, so that means you are at least somewhat wise. Who are you? State your names and your occupations, and eventually, by the time you're done with that, my colleagues will be here."
She kind of glances back, the orc, nervously towards the halflings. I'm Callith. These are what remain of my small platoon of the turquoise spear.
Mm-hmm. Soldiers, good, good. And whose employ were you in?
Siren, we're ex-soldiers scouring the moorlands for relics. You do not seem to be members of the Lord of Blades. Definitely not Warforged from Ayalis. What is your purpose here in the Mornlands, traveler? You can see
Well,
she does kind of relax a little bit after you began talking. I mean, you are charismatic. What's your charisma? 16 or 18?
I think I'm 16. Yeah, I'm 16 at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you're wearing Solamnic Knight armor. You've got a dragon lance strapped on your dragon. Your dragonelle, I should say, but they don't know that.
Mhm.
And very regal looking, and you could see them kind of like almost carrying yourself as an officer, as a knight. And you can see them kind of relax a bit more, especially, finding out that they're a military unit, and you literally came from a military unit when you popped into Faerun from Kryn.
Yeah. Well, excellent. Well, good to hear that you are of fine soldiering folk. I will be most curious to hear about what you have explored and what you have found in these lands, as we too are travelers looking for, in our case, a very specific item, but potentially need to find our way to that. I will let my colleagues join us, and they will be able to talk to you about it in much more detail, because I let them handle the details, and I just sort of lead the group.
And then apparently, as you gesture over, Devana has cast Water Walk on everyone.
No, I'm trying to be even more intimidating and impressive. I have done control water and parted the river so we can just
Okay.
walk across.
Okay. All right.
I think that seems impressive to Devana. That
It does indeed, as the three veterans there kind of turn and glance as you kind of part the water, and the rest of you kind of make your way across the riverbed and up to their encampment underneath the other side of the bridge. And you see Calith. Let me put her name here in chat for you. I got to remember how to spell it myself. Kind of just again stares eyes wide. Doesn't even seem to move to the piece of artillery at her feet. And the two
Devana
halflings.
just kind of thinks the bridge is rigged to blow.
The halflings definitely sheath their weapons as you get closest. As you get closer. So Moses instead of Jesus. There you go, Mythos. You took the Moses path instead of Jesus path. Walking across and just part it.
I guess walk would have been pretty impressive too, but I don't have that loaded right now. So
Fair enough. Fair enough. She kind of glances back. Caliph kind of glances back nervously between your group and says, "Well, again, you've mentioned you're searching for something. What do you have need of us? We're just scavengers."
Are we there yet?
Scavengers find things, though. Yeah, are we there?
Yes, yes. You've all made your way across. Yes.
I look a little disgruntled at not being able to go for a swim, but I say, well, scavengers are ones that find things, and we just happen upon you. We followed tracks from a fallen colossus back that way.
You see her kind
Didn't
of
know if
hold
you
her
found.
hands, or she does hold her hand up, says, "My apologies. I did not mean to be rude," as she glances again over nervously at Das. And she says, "I am Calith. Might we have your names and know who you are?"
Well, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if you didn't. What's that thing on the ground there?
"Oh, apologies." And she picks it up, and it kind of looks like a 10 or 12 hollowed pipes, all set in a circle. It seems to have some sort of handle on the back of it. That you would use to rotate the handle. And she kind of picks it up, and you hear the and kind of packs it away.
Yeah, see that we can all be friendly now. Like, yes, my name is Captain Renly, these are the 10 eels, and we're also on the search for something, looking through Colossus's part. We're not looking to, liberate any of the items that you might have found, but we would definitely like to share your camp for a little bit and have a chat.
Yes, we do not have, and as that happens, you feel the effects of the hero feast wear off. And she says, we have very meager amounts of rations, but you're more than welcome to partake if you wish. Please, have a seat. She kind of gestures to some of the rocks around the fire pit.
As you say that, I suddenly remember how very hungry I am. That's unfortunate. That's all right. I think we all have our own rations. We'll be okay. But thank you.
And after you introduce everyone's names, she does introduce the two halflings as Dortal Lynn and Greason. Then chat for you.
Thinks long and hard about casting Heroes Feast again, but given the time that it takes to travel here, she holds off.
Plus the amount of rest you'll need since you have been traveling for 24 hours now, yes. But as you sit down and start to, everyone pull out the rations and such like that, you can see they've kind of relaxed a bit, seeing that, all of you are, fairly impressive folk and such like that, and definitely don't give off any, monster or violent vibes or anything like that. Well, maybe not DOS so much, but anyway, they seem to be open for conversation. What is it you seek here in the Mornlands? The shadows of Mount Iron Rot.
I'm gonna make a bet that it's very similar to the thing that you might be looking for. Are you aware of what a docent is?
And you see, she looks over to the halflings, and they kind of look to her, and she says, meaning no disrespect, but yes, we're very aware of what docents are.
Right. Well, I'm going to preface this with something. We are not here to rob you, okay? But we're on a pretty important quest, mission, whatever you might want to call it. And in order to do that, we need to lay our hands on a docent for a little bit. But we don't need to crack it open or keep it or sell it or, make a necklace out of it or anything like that. So, just curious, we've been going around to the different colossuses that we've found been here. We followed your tracks from the recent one.
As you were speaking real quick, you see the one she mentioned as Grezin say, Colossi. Oh, sorry, as Caliph kind of glares down at him.
No, that's totally fine. I'm not familiar with the native tongue. You correct me as often as you need. But yes, we came from one of the most recent colossi. And how was your luck?
She says, well, we ourselves have not been very fortunate as well. We, of course, are looking for these docents as well, so that we can trade them outside of the Mornlands to sell in the markets. But we do have discovered that there is a stockpile of docents that have been taken from the Colossi.
Oh.
If you would help us in gathering these, we would happily let you borrow one, need be.
Insight check?
Sure.
Natural 20.
Definitely completely telling the truth. Very honest. You detect nothing evil about these three figures here. Definitely seem to be soldiers. Definitely seems as if Calith is their commanding officer, especially from their mannerisms, hanging out with Das, knowing that Das is a military minotaur as well. Very regimented in what they're doing. Looking about, you can definitely see that they don't seem to have any evil intent. But then Calith does continue on. She says, unfortunately, the stockpile is in a place called Aelos, a ruined village currently occupied by rogue warforged. We've attempted to infiltrate the ruins, but they made it clear that they wouldn't give up their stockpile without a fight.
Is that the village of the pilgrims?
That is indeed the village of the pilgrims.
Oh. See, I thought we should have just. I was like wondering if they had some already.
I
How
thought if you
Right.
infiltrated something, you didn't fight because they didn't see you.
how
Well.
certain are you that they actually have any?
Pretty certain. I mean, these treasures rightfully belong to living, breathing Sirens.
Why would you say that?
Our people are the ones that created them.
But what about the creatures that were created with them? Don't they have any rights to it?
That is not how I see
So
it,
it was
but
part-
perhaps we might have different views.
I mean, it seems like it might be a part of them. That's all.
How would you feel about sharing some of these docents? If there's a more sentimental or personal importance for these docents, for these, I'm sorry, what beings? Warforged, did you say?
And she nods at you
That you
solemnly.
mentioned, and you are no judgment, but merely looking to profit from them. I don't know if there's anything stating that either one of your groups have to have all of them. Perhaps they would be willing to trade other things for any docents that you might find, since you're more looking for gold, and they
Well, she kind
the
of holds up.
importance of the docents.
She holds up her hand when you say that. We are just trying to survive. Have you not been in the Mournlands long? Have you not seen the wastelands around?
No, that's what I'm getting at, though, is that if you are looking for monetary value so that you can purchase food and supplies and things of that nature, but the docents are, personally important to them, maybe we can come to some kind of where maybe they care less about some type of resource and would be willing to help you with those things, but the docents are kind of off the table, so to speak. And surely all these the different parts of the colossi, I mean, those you could build towns out of the parts that we found around here. Surely those would go for something.
How would you suggest we carry such things?
Fair point. Listen, like you said, I'm new here. I'm just trying to find some common ground. If it's a common thing back where we from. I don't know if it's a thing here, but it's called compromise.
She kind of takes in a deep breath and kind of looks over to Dodal Lin and then over to Grezin. I'm not sure if bartering or parlaying with Rogue Warforged would come to any reasonable solution. They were created as creatures of war.
Well, hey, Caleb, I mean, you yourself are telling me that you're veterans, so assuming you're creatures of war too. You also said that you're just out here trying to survive. Seems to me like having a conversation instead of picking fights would be a good way to attempt that.
And Grezin kind of like
Oh,
looks. You see, with your passive perceptions. I mean, I think what Agnoth, Devana, and Renly, you kind of see Grezin kind of look to the side a bit and turns around and walks back over to the tent.
kind of leaving the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Devana will pull on Renly's sleeve and whisper in his ear, "Didn't Mercy mention some rogue Warforge? I don't think they're talking about Mercy's camp."
With
Didn't
your
she say-
passive insight of 20, Devana, you probably can easily ascertain that they probably don't realize that Mercy's group is different from the Lord of Blades group.
I don't think that they're.
You
Oh,
can
okay.
easily intuit that with your passive
Okay.
insight of 20.
Gotcha, because I was trying to figure it out. Like, wait, Mercy would have told us.
Right. Well, and I guess part of the confusion too
But
is
he
that
is describing.
Kalith-
She is describing that the village of Mercy's village has a stockpile.
Yeah. Well, and we don't know that Mercy's group doesn't have a stockpile. We just know that they're looking for more.
Correct.
Oh, and I guess we didn't.
We didn't ask them
didn't
directly.
ask them. Yeah,
Correct.
We weren't direct enough.
Correct.
We're,
I remember
we're,
thinking about it, but we never did it.
we're missing the bigger point here. These people apparently turned around and walked away from Captain Renly mid-sentence.
Oh, snap.
To be fair, Blink, I say a lot of sentences. Odds are, if I turn around, it's going to be while I'm in the middle.
A lot of sentences.
I can't argue that point.
Rein it in a little bit. We're trying to avoid a tussle at the moment, but I'm open to suggestions. Though I think I wasn't grasping some of the details, obviously, in the conversation. What's Das doing right now? Just like waiting to tell the Dragon Elf to just like forward.
Yeah, he's just basically like, all right, well, you know, where are we attacking? Oh, that's
Yeah, I thought we were chasing. For some reason, I forgot that we weren't really chasing the other
Yeah.
Warforged. I was like, oh yeah, the humanoids.
And the small, it does make sense completely that the small footprints you found were that of the halflings.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
But yeah, no, Das is sitting back here mostly because even in his brain, he realizes this is probably more of a situation where we need to be helped with negotiating between two parties rather than fighting either of them. In which case, that is better for other members of this party to do than him.
Well, I'm just wondering now.
Are you sure? I thought you were the best.
Well, real quick, before on that insulting note, we
I'm just
will.
joking.
We're going to take a small little ad break here. We have an ad break coming up here very shortly, so feel free to stretch your legs, use the restroom, grab some snacks, replenish your beverages, and we will have a little bit more discussion before we finish up the session on the other side of the ad break. So please stick around. We'll be back very, very shortly. All right, we're back on this side of the ad break. Still waiting for one or two of the players to return. What we usually do the last 20 minutes of the stream is for the players to discuss what they've learned, discuss what might be possibilities of different paths to go forward, and all of that. So, discussing, what do you want to do? Do you want to head to Hylos to speak with Mercy and the other Warforged there? Do you want to try to find this Lord of Blades? To find out what's going on with that, how you want to continue forward. You do need to dose it. It has been told to you by the Turquoise Spear, which is Calith and her two halfling companions, that there is a stockpile supposedly at Aeolos.
Well, I feel like we
I
should
mean-
go back to ALOs.
Yeah, but maybe not take Calith and the halflings with us.
Oh no, we don't need them. We can just leave.
But do you think we can kind of do like a enemy of my enemy is my friend, and you just don't know it?
We could.
Not that we have to, but just
Well,
like, hey, maybe not all the Warforged are part of the same group, so ask questions and shoot second.
I can't.
Ask
I
questions
can't.
first,
I can't
second.
give you the information that Devana did get great insights on both Mercy and Calith. And Mercy was being forthcoming about being forthright about the Lord of Blades and the violent Warforged that are out there as scavengers as well.
Well, I'm also wondering because like Mercy's friend that's missing. Like, I wonder if they're with the other Warforged
Might be a possibility.
too.
They did describe Filch as being blue and red in color. No, his name does not start with Mr. And no, he does not have a cat.
Does blue and red make turquoise? I'm color stupid.
No.
Blue and red makes purple.
Right. Although turquoise
Like I
does
said,
have
color
flecks
stupid.
of green and copper in it, because I think turquoise has copper in it, I think.
So I suppose, Renly, the question is, how much do you feel like making the world a better place and making peace, or do we just do our stuff and leave them to it?
Well,
Our main overall mission is to find these rods to make the world a better place.
yes.
The multiverse. The multiverse. A better place.
Yeah.
We
Wait,
should be
I
making
thought our
the
main
world
mission was to
a
get
better
home,
place
sir.
As we go.
What was that, Devon?
As long as we're together, we're home, Blink.
Right.
Aww.
Well, I think if we go to Alos and talk to them, I don't think we necessarily have to take the veterans, but we can explain their position.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to set up a town hall with them or anything. I think kind of letting them know, like, oh, hey, I think you're maybe painting some people with the same brush.
Right.
Don't.
Exactly.
There you go.
Anyway, we're looking for docents, you know.
Right.
We
Um,
two paths diverged in the Yellow Woods, and we picked the wrong one. So, here
Yeah.
we are.
yeah, I think if we can essentially, like, hey, we've explained something, so maybe don't be at each other's throats. Anyway, we're, you know, I don't think we need to, like, sit down and be like, all right, everybody, pass the peace pipe around and we're going to hash this out. I mean,
Although
I'm not trying-
I would note that lots of peaceful things can happen partaking of the halfling leaf.
that's true. That's possible. But like, there's only 2 halflings. I don't know how that works for Warforged. What are their lungs like? You know. So I'm not trying to say like, hey, let's not help people. But I also feel like our foot's kind of on the gas pedal to find the rod and do stuff, right?
That's how I feel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, like if we can explain something and like keep badness from happening, awesome. But I don't think we need to like come fix this place that we're not from and have no history in. We need to more focus on the rod, you know?
Yeah, understandable. Yeah. All right, so the next session we'll start off. You can go ahead and Caliph definitely welcomes you to spend the night here, taking a long rest. If you want to use the Liam's tiny hut, that's not a problem. And we can start the next session heading to Aeolus then.
Sounds good.
Sounds like the plan. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and finish up the session for the evening then. Great job, everyone. Found out a lot of great information. In case the halflings were secretly backstabbers. Nice.
Yeah, right.
I know.
They could be.
There could be.
Always
Never
better
know.
to sleep in the dome. Yes.
Maybe Eberron halflings are lawful evil. We don't know this.
We don't know.
Yeah. Well, you do know they have no evil intent from Devana's, natural 20 plus 10 insight. So.
Sure.
But we'll go ahead and finish up for the evening. Does anyone have anything to say before we head out?
Well,
Thanks,
nice
everybody.
distraction.
Oh, all
Thank you,
right.
everyone.
Great session, everyone. Thanks, Magic Academy RPG, for the raid. Very much appreciated. Little Pandas, Little Cucumber, thank you so much for the follows as well. And all of those that resubbed today with your primes and such like that, very, very much appreciated. We will be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for some more adventures in Middle Earth. That is going to be our only stream tomorrow. We're going to be off the rest of the week until Sunday evening. We do have virtual D&D weekend this weekend, and we're running some sessions there. But we will be back for stream next Sunday, this coming Sunday, I should say. At 7 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Fandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk. We'll be back for Vecna Eve of Ruin episode 17 on February 11th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So definitely come back for that. Come by Saturday, Sunday if you can to check out the sessions for Fandelver and Below the Shattered Obelisk. Of course, thanks to all of our supporters, especially our patrons from Patreon. If you'd like to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron or subbing here on Twitch, twitch.tv/themasterofdungeons. We definitely appreciate the Prime subs as well. The link to our Patreon page as well as our YouTube channel and all of our social media links can be found in the About Us section below here on Twitch. If you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, you can catch up on all the past episodes of the different campaigns that we're running. It is free to sub on YouTube. Maybe like and comment on the videos. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, give us some likes, retweets, all that good stuff. Every sub, like, and share helps us immensely. If you want to chat with us off stream, you can click the Discord panel below or click the link here in chat and join the Master of Dungeons community Discord server. You can help shape an accepting, caring, and inclusive gaming community. The merch store is also open, and anything you purchase from the merch store will directly help support the channel. But thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your Tuesday evening with us. Again, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for some adventures in Middle Earth. Thanks for watching. We love the all in you. And as always, until we speak again, happy adventuring. Take care, all.